I reckon that was the temporary.
Okay, this one's called At the Pond, written by David Elliott and illustrated by Amy Shimler-Safford. There's the opening cover. The red-winged blackbird spreads his tail and sings his low morning song. He has sung it since the bright and misty world began. The bullfrog leaps, and there among the reeds the water ripples like a fan, unfolding on the surface of the pond it springs to life. Another day has dawned. What a swimming portrait the dabbing mallard makes. The molten hen, the ducklings, and behind the splendid drake. The water lilies open in the morning sun, and frogs sit on a lily pad. The show has just begun. She's come to watch the lilies open, one by one, by one. His reputation swims well beyond the banks of the pond. The stories he has spawned have been repeated so often, no one knows truth from exaggeration. They have even given him a loving appellation, Old Harry the catfish that won't be caught. Polly, Polly, Pollywog, Golly, Golly, Golly Frog. At the bottom of the pond, the hungry snapping turtle waits where an unsuspecting minnow will meet its hard shell fate. We've seen some snapping turtles. The dragonfly delicate, diaphanous, dazzling, diaphanous, yet fundamentally ferocious as fierce as any fighter jet. The water strider, we know these guys. Enigmatic but prolific, each day he writes his story in rippling hieroglyphics, which is patterns and drawings. They shatter the burnished surface into hard shards of splintered light. The day is hot, the water cool. What does it matter that the turtles slide from their log or the startled geese takes flight? I guess when the kids jumped into the water. To watch it from some distance is probably best. The water snake is guarding her teeming, knotted nest. Anyone see the baby snakes? Rising from the pond, a hodgepodge dome, but inside the beaver's stick-built home. It's as cozy as can be, and the essence of a beaver's thoughts on domesticity. Domesticity. Still can't say it. The pond's nobility, the great blue heron wades. In the shallows with ancestral dignity, both majestic and absurd. The fish do not doubt it. The heron is a striking bird. Look at all that. In the silvered evenings dim, the little muskrats come to swim. Over boulder, sunken limb, the pond would be a different pond without the busy, swimming him. Oh, I like that. Now the evening light is fading, but there are other creatures waiting to walk out from the shadows where they hide. The deer, her fawn close by her side, comes to the softly charcoaled shoreline first. They bow their heads to satisfy their thirst, while the charismatic fireflies blink their silent lullabies. We like fireflies. Soon the fickle moon will pass across the nighttime looking glass. Cattails whisper through the night until the morning's welcome light finds the pond's expectant shore, and the blackbird sings once more. Notes about the animals and plants. Red-winged blackbirds. It doesn't seem quite fair that this popular songbird's name applies to just half its population. It's only the males that have those bright red shoulders with the yellow stripes. The female is neither red-winged nor black, but a streaky dark brown. Mallards. Mallards are the ancestors of almost all farmyard ducks. They're speedy too, and have been clock flying at a whopping 55 miles, 88 kilometres an hour. Want to sound smart? A flock of mallards is called a sword. S-O-R-D. I didn't know that. Water lilies. Water lilies are not just beautiful, they also play an important role in the health of a pond. Their showy flowers and pads work to shade the water, and this helps keep the temperature down, which in turn slows the growth of algae. Catfish. Ever wonder what those whiskers on a catfish are actually called? Barbels. Barbels help catfish search for food in the murky water where they live. In the United States, catfish have a lot of nicknames: mudcats, chuckleheads, scoopers, and flatties. Pollywogs. When we think about pollywogs, we almost always think about metamorphosis. That's the process in which an animal changes from one form into another, kind of like a shapeshifter that takes its time. In one of the last stages of a pollywog's metamorphosis, just before it becomes a frog, its mouth widens and its intestines become shorter. Ouch. I'm not sure why. Oh, this is quite the interesting story. So there's some more definitions of everything there as well. I could probably read them, but it will go on for some time. I'm going to choose one or two that I like. The dragonflies. Most of us picture dragonflies hovering over the surface of a pond, their iridescent colour glinting in the sun. But a dragonfly spends its first 2 years underwater. Because dragonflies can fly up, down, sideways, and even backwards, they are very efficient hunters. They also have super sharp teeth. Luckily, most dragonflies are not large enough to bite humans. Fireflies. Imagine if you had organs in your stomach that lit up. Well, fireflies do. These beetles take in oxygen and mix it with a special substance called luciferin. The result is light. Scientists still aren't sure how fireflies turn that light on and off. Here's something strange. Some adult fireflies do not eat. Water snakes. Though they can be aggressive, water snakes are non-venomous and therefore basically harmless. Unfortunately, they can be easily mistaken for the poisonous water moccasin. As with other wild creatures, if you see a snake, best to give it plenty of room. Cattails. Most kids think cattails look like hot dogs. In fact, that's the long brown sausage shape is a collection of tiny female flowers. Not very tasty, I'm afraid, but part of the cattail is edible. More than 30,000 years ago, hunter-gatherers made flour from its rhizome or root. Now that is interesting. That was called At the Pond by David Elliott, illustrated by Amy Shimler Safford. I enjoyed that one.